Hi, good evening to you guys. My name is Choy Kian Huang. From SGU Unit 10, and today of the topic of like how is say no to cyberbullying. Today, we're gonna discuss about what is cyberbullying and consequences of cyberbullying, and how we gonna prevent cyberbullying. How as a victim of cyberbullying, how we gonna deal with it, and how we gonna to avoid ourselves to become a bully in internet, in online. And so what what why is it very important that we talk about cyberbullying nowadays? Because as a technology is very wide used in across the world, that bullying is not only happen in physical, but also it happening virtually, in online, in internet, that it makes negative impact, that negative consequences to people. So, what is cyberbullying? The exact definition of cyberbullying is the use of electronic communications to bully a person. So, typically, by sending a message of intimidating or threatening someone's, to make them feel unworthy, to make them to feel useless, to hurt their feeling, by sending those hateful comments, those hateful speeches, responses, which is this kind of cyberbullying. And the statistics shows that Malaysia is the second in Asia of use cyberbullying country, which is it shows that cyberbullying is very serious in Malaysia, and we have to pay attention in it in order to prevent cyberbullying keep happening in Malaysia. uh, like, so we need to to do something to avoid cyberbullying. First, we have to identify cyberbullying. We have to to know what kind of incidents is a cyberbullying, because cyberbullying have a different varieties of a characteristic. So we're gonna discuss the first one. First of all, hacking into someone's gaming or social network profile is a kind of a cyberbullying, which is you hack to someone's gaming or social network, stealing all their informations and send to you know to black market. You sell the information or you spread the information to others, which is this considered cyberbullying. And secondly, pranking someone's cell phone. So, for example, you steal someone's handphone to prank them, to pretend them, which is also is cyberbullying. And sending means tasks to someone else, like to humiliate the person, to make fun of the persons, in also consider cyberbullying, which is that person will feel very hurt, being bullying by you. And moreover, being rude or means to someone in an online game. For example, the people call you useless, call you loser in the online game, make you feel you are not capable in playing anything, make you a useless person. This also is a kind of cyberbullying, which is make you a more lesser. Furthermore, starting a website that raise someone appearance or popularity. So, for example, someone takes your pictures, posting it online, and then rate how ugly you or ugly he or she is, which is very also very hurtful to the person, which they compare, that judge, that criticize your appearance and your popularity, which is also a kind of cyberbullying. So next, posting private embarrassing photos online by sending them to others. For example, you have the new pictures of that person, and then you spread this new picture to social media, to internet, and to make fun of these persons, and this violate the criminal law, and as well as this cyberbullying. Okay. In addition, there's another pretending to be someone else to spread hurtful messages online. For example, you steal the identity of others. You use that person's identity to pretend him can her to say something mean, something rude, something hurtful to people, which is also is cyberbullying, which is you ruin that person's reputations. You use his reputations to do something bad, which is not okay, and which is a cyberbullying. And lastly, spreading the secrets, the rumors, it doesn't assist about that people. For example, the person didn't do anything wrong, but you just simply make up anything to make the person look back, look, look bad, and then you just say something bad things to that person, also make some rumors to that person, which is also not good, and which is cyberbullying. So we have to be firm that what kind of like incidents, what kind of things considered to be cyberbullying. The first we have to identify before we process to how gonna deal with it. First, we have to have the awareness of cyberbullying issues, and then we can know that how to prevent it happens. So what does it important to prevent cyberbullying? So cyberbullying, those people who are victims, who are experiencing cyberbullying, they are struggle emotionally, physically, and mentally, which is it will brings a huge negative impact on the person's life, because cyberbullying will hurt your feeling, you embarrass you, you'll make you feel scared, to afraid of anything, even though it can cause a tremendous negative impact. For example, PTSD, a lot of our mental illness. It will destroy your mental health as well. For example, there's a news at the right hand side. You guys can see that there's TikToker believed to ended he or she or his or her life. So because that person got bullied from TikTok, that people saying something bad, that people saying something which is not which is a hateful comment, hateful responses in the comment sections, which the persons the person who posting those TikTok will feel feel hurt, to feel painful to read, to see, so that they will choose to end their life, to see all these things, because the stresses that beer is tremendous. So this is why it's important to prevent cyberbullying, in order to prevent something bad happen. So as a victim, so how can a victim to deal with cyberbullying? So first of all, we have to recognize cyberbullying and harassment. So we have how to recognize cyberbullying harassment. We have to bear in our mind that we have to know that not every people are nice. Not everything you post in online will get you receive positive response of positive comments. There are mean people out there. There are bad people out there. They will judge you. They will criticize you about your photos, about your videos. So we have to have that mindset that we need to accept we need to accept. We need to be acceptant to all the responses. So, other than that, we need to keep careful records. For example, if you see something is stealing your identity, to stealing your pictures, to make scam, to cheat people money, to cheat people love relationship, you have to screenshot it and then to make report to the authority, to make report to the police stations, in order to prevent those things to ruin, to destroy your reputations. Or else we can use, the blog, ignore and report to that account, to that specific account who is stealing your identity, who is ruining your reputations. This function is quite good to prevent something bad happens. So if you face something bad, if you find out that people is stealing your identity, you just block and just reporting that account, the specific account. You just ask all your friends, to help you to report, to block. That is quite useful in that way. So, furthermore, try not to take the rule and comments personally. We have to bear in our minds that we don't let these, hateful comments to get into your mind. That hurtful rude comments have little to do with you. Uh, we need to accept the fact that not all the people will like your content. This is very important. And moreover, we not to really read the offending comments. For example, there's a ton of rude, hateful comments in the comment section, but we try not to reread. We try not to to see. We just keep our social media far from us. For example, we can take a technology break overall. So we just keep our social media, keep our phones away for ourselves, and just focus here and now. We hang out with friends, we hang out with family, we have having quality time with family and friends, do hiking, do exercising, doing something good for your body health, good for your mental health, because we have to focus our mental health. Because cyberbullying is really matters that it will hurt your mental health. It will destroy your mental health. It's very important to remind yourself that mental health comes first. We need to take care of mental health first, uh, other than uh, other than focusing on to focusing on those hateful comment, those hate speech, those rude comments, which is not going to do any good for your mental health. So beside that, there's a victim perspective, and there's also a bully perspective, that how can we avoid ourselves to become a bully in internet. So it's very important to remember that we need to be careful in our hands and our mind. Don't do something bad in the internet, which is it can make a lot of negative consequences. For example, we have to choose kindness over bad things. For example, we need to be kind to each other. We need to use our social media for good. We need to share something positive to people. We need to make a positive community, to make a safe space for all of the user of the user in social media platform. We need to create something positive content to spread the news, to spread the kindness to each other, other than spread something bad, to leave something hateful speech to other, which is not okay. We need to choose kindness over bad. So beside that, we need to protect ourselves and others in online. So how can we protect ourselves? So there's a private setting in every social media platform. We make sure that our social media, is keep as a private. So in order others to steal your informations, all your like picture, your basic information, to use your information, your picture to cheat others, which is we need to do some settings in our social media in order to prevent these negative consequences. These negative things happens. Beside that, self-awareness also very important. Before you leave something bad, like response, bad comments in the comment section, you have need to know that need to pay close attention to how social media and online content is influencing your emotions, thoughts and actions. We need to bear in our mind that what is our emotion right now, what is our thoughts right now, what is our actions, what we're gonna do, how that, or we need to ask ourselves how that does it make our feels, how does it readings all this new make you feel. uh, does it feel stressed, does it feel, we need to be, we need to be empathic, we need to empathize others. If for example you need to take other perspective. For example, if you are the one to see all these hateful speech, hateful responses, what will you react in that way? So we need to stand out from our stand from others perspective, to think in others way rather than to think it in your way. So this is a very important to have self-awareness, to be empathic. So lastly, to make 30-second rules is very important. So before you write something, before you post something, you have to remember, you have to remind yourself that you need to set 30-second rules to rewatch back your, what you write. Is that okay? Does it gonna hurt others? Does it gonna make negative impact to others? Which is very important to remind yourselves that uh, those words those words are powerful, and it will destroy one person's life. you know so we need to think twice to be careful our words, because nowadays is very, for example, there's an incident happened recently. There's a TikToker, she's posted something in TikTok that's saying that child and kids is a luxury bag, and she got a very luxury bag in her life. And then in the comment section, a lot of people criticize and being judgmental about, to say child and kids is not a luxury brand, to leave all the hateful, comments in the comment sections, or the jealous comment in the comment section, which is it does make that person to feel very hurt, to see all this comment, which is which is from the perspective of that person who posting something. That person just wanted to share something happy in her life, but it turns out to be something bad, to be something ignorance. So it's very important to have the self-awareness to post something. Before you post something, you need to make sure that it will not hurt people. So that's all for my sharing. Thank you for listening. And there's a scoreline provided in the comment section. Make sure that you guys gonna click in and fill up the scoreline. And the lighthouse will, okay, this is a very this is a announcement for the lighthouse, because the lighthouse gonna change Friday morning starting from February 1st. So thank you for listening again, and hope you guys enjoy this sharing, and hope you guys get a lot of valuable information from cyberbullying, and we need to prevent cyberbullying happening again, starting from yourself. Thank you so much.